not urinating on the fire, man.
Yeah, we suck right now, so
That's about it. You can run straight.
The culture is actually damn good.
Football's in full swing, which means it's time for Morpho expertise with a loud voice. Welcome back to Tree Picks, proudly partnered with Underdog for more quote-unquote advice. You wisely bet against my picks last week. Let's see how you did. I had a winning record? To be fair, I did miss on Wilson and Ramondre. Maybe this week will be better luck for you if you go against me as you should. The Cowboys against the Derp. Oh, what joys will be had if the G-Men win. My picks for this week? Dallas has been awful against the run this season, pounding higher for Devin Singletary in rushing yards. Brendan Aubrey will kick at least 2 60-yarders in his sleeve, so for 8 points, higher there. Malik Neighbors' longest reception will be over 23.5 yards. It's Malik Neighbors. That's why. Also consider that this is against the Mike Zimmer defense that's been wrecked repeatedly, which is why I'm going higher on the Daniel Jones passing yards total. And finally, Dallas doesn't have a run game. And against Sexy Dexy and that defensive line, it's gonna be hell. Zeke's going lower than that rushing yard total. With these 5 picks, I hope this week's in your favor, as it always is with Underdog. Pick'em gets better every week. And with more money Mondays and Fridays, you'll get a boost to the action. There are tantalizing daily promos every week. And if you want to join in, click the link in the description. Then use promo code UTREE to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash in your first deposit and a special pick in the lobby. Everyone loves an underdog. No exceptions. But always remember to play responsibly. I feel like we just lost one of the greatest comfort foods in the meme world. No matter what chaos and uncertainty there was out there, we could always come home to watch New England's biannual teabagging of the Jets. But it didn't happen that way. This felt like revenge for years of being a punching bag pent up and exploding like a fireball on every play. The Patriots look solid for a rebuilding team for 2 weeks. But here we get what we thought they were. Aaron Rodgers in New York imitated the Boston Tea Party, but they're throwing Jacoby Brissett overboard. Get that man some Toradol and a law firm. He should sue for financial compensation with how he's getting destroyed in the pocket. Battered to only 40 yards of offense in the first half. Just a relentless beatdown by the Jets, flashing their potential on both sides of the ball. You know, Brissett's had his fun. Hey Drake, how'd you like to die? The drive in garbage time is his baptism by fire. Meet the Jets defense. He'll be hanging out a bit more to come. Let this game set the stage for how little logic and reasonable thought was considered in this week of NFL football. Raise your hand if you thought Denver had a snowball's chance in hell of winning this week. Against a strong Buccaneers team on the road? Even the most opium-loaded fan in the Rocky Mountains was doubting their power. But then the game happened. Bucks? What the fuck? Go from dominating NFC contenders to being mauled by the Broncos? They didn't just start flat-footed, their legs were glued to the track before the starting gun. Baker Mayfield, for the crime of redeeming his career, has been sentenced to death behind this O-line. 7 sacks. The Broncos reverted to 2015 form with 7 sacks. I know Tampa Bay's dealing with injuries, but this was pathetic. Bo Nix looked presentable with a clean pocket and room to run. Do you know how bad you have to be to have that happen? All I can guess is that Tampa Bay looked past their opponent and suffered the consequences. Denver didn't just win, they annihilated whatever poorly equipped soul was in front of them. Maybe there is hope there after all. The Malik Willis revenge game. Cast off from the Titans as a failure and a bust. And he will return to wreak havoc on the team for choosing poorly. I just never thought Malik would be this good in his homecoming. I haven't seen Willis wreck an entire franchise's hopes and dreams like this since he was at Liberty. He led in both passing and rushing after the first half. For the entire league. This is the most delicious revenge this side of Houston, giving Bud Adams the double bird every time the Texans beat them. An unbelievably damning testament on Tennessee that they let Willis do this to them. Dead to rights by the end of the first quarter, for God's sake. Meanwhile, Will Levis did Levis things per usual. Mainly hilarious memes and bad quarterbacking. And then he died in the pocket. Literally. 8 times he was sacked in this contest. You see this picture? That was Levis in this game. If you're a Titans fan, the desire to drown yourself in moonshine must be the highest it's been since Malarkey was head coach. Levis isn't progressing, the defense is starting to break, and there wasn't anything close to resembling a running game here. But at least we have the memes. Those delicious, satiating memes. Keep Will starting for that alone. think that all the adversity and heartbreak the Vikings had led them to a glorious bounty beyond human comprehension. Not just winning football games, but dominating them? Against a burgeoning juggernaut in Houston? Okay, Minnesota, you can pump the brakes on the fast start sometime. If you're not careful, you may give the fans some of this dreaded hope that kills them every December. Sam Darnold driving this bus all over the field with dazzling football and incredible feats through the air. I'm still having a hard time fathoming Darnold realizing his potential. We've strayed into the wrong timeline. Darnold as an MVP candidate? Someone create a parallel universe and go back to March to alter history. This might be the most unpredictable one. Even more so than the Texans loving yellow flags thrown at them. I've seen 3-year-olds with more discipline. Back-to-back-to-back pre-snap penalties. All of them on Laramie Tunsil? Houston didn't just lose, they got punched in the mouth repeatedly. General Mills had to go into mop-up duty, it was so bad. This is why you don't get high on your own farts. Because this league is like crabs in a bucket. You try to escape, your ass is getting dragged back into the muck. Even Minnesota will someday. They're 3-0. Really? It says something as to how unbelievably bonkers a week is when the most normal game involves the Chargers and Steelers. These two franchises. Normal. At least I know what the hell to expect from both groups. Pittsburgh's going to slowly crush teams to death with their defense and an offense that can occasionally do things. The Chargers will find ways to extract the horrible pain that their 74 fans in LA didn't know they still had. It's truly amazing. A tight game with both teams showcasing regimented football unraveled through liquid LA faster than Spanos can get fucked. In Pittsburgh, everything will die. Hope, harmony, and health? Gone. Justin Herbert re-aggravated his ankle injury and it was downhill from there. Joey Bosa, Rashawn Slater, and Joe Alt. One-way tickets to the Blue Ten of Doom. Like a young Disney star, sterile and inoffensive until corrupted by outside forces in the second half. The Steelers are the harbingers of despair. 3-0 with the most plotting brand of football this side of Arthur Smith. He looked damn good too. He even scored a touchdown longer than 40 yards. Through the air. Thought that was illegal. Maybe they really are going to the Super Bowl. When a team like the Giants comes into your home, you should crush them. When they derp on the opening kickoff and you immediately score a touchdown in 11 seconds, you should win by 40. This is how it should go if you aren't the Cleveland Browns. Their quarterback is not Deshaun Watson. Their offensive lines are not absolutely battered to hell and back. Add Wyatt Teller and Jedrick Wilson. This team needs an adult. Send Deshaun to a landfill, he is trash. Brown should file an insurance claim because this is all but a total loss. Is that why he's getting wrecked by this defense? 8 sacks on the day for a Giants defense finally awoken from slumber. The offense falling completely flat for drives at a time is one thing, but to be vastly outperformed by Danny Derps, it's time to retire to the mountains and live as a hermit. Malik Neighbors is him. The big-time receiver that's gonna carry the G-Men to 6 wins come hell or high water. With him, Jones looks like a goddamn dynamo. It's not perfection, but against the Browns, it's good enough. The Giants' defense will do the rest. I mean, it is postmodern Deshaun Watson, but this is a fetish to the AFC North and anyone with morality. Cleveland can't stop fucking the ball. Even as the Giants are giving them endless chances, the Browns swat it away like they have throughout their history. New York still doesn't have a kicker and they can't do anything with it. An embarrassing loss of embarrassing losses. To the Giants, amazing. No, this gets worse, Cleveland. Myles Garrett's hobbled. I'm like Art Modell after Paul left. Fuck the Browns. This game was alleged to have featured 2 of the best young quarterbacks in the game. I'm suing for false advertising. What I saw wasn't a showcase, but a shit show in all aspects of play. From skill positions to offensive lines to plate calling and beyond. Mel Kiper wants to ban the cover too? He should really consider how offenses have become smooth brain. Caleb and AR5 look inconsistent as all hell. Do you have a chance at a touchdown thanks to talent? Anthony Richardson will charitably donate the ball to the Bears defense with the worst pass you'll see in 5 minutes. Is that too much for Caleb to handle? Well, he'll just give the ball right back to the Colts. If it weren't for Jonathan Taylor, I don't know if anyone would have scored any damn points. Of course, if your offensive coordinator is Shane Waldron, you're going to get the dumbest play calls known to man. 3 straight goal plays, just run it up the gut for nothing, it doesn't matter. 4th and goal, the Bears run an option play. On the 1-yard line. Option play. Seahawks fans hated Waldron with a burning passion for a reason. The most well-executed thing for either side was Seth Rollins being thrown onto the field. Perhaps he can teach Williams and Richardson how to throw accurately at this level, since it simply shows me that both of these offenses fucking suck. Colts have been getting gashed against the run and you can't do anything there? Caleb really is gonna fall apart. What is an offensive line? What is an offense? Only Jonathan Taylor need apply. Indianapolis merely won because someone had to. I personally would have given them both losses. The Colts defense has been wrecked by injury after injury, so that might count as one. Can I take my prediction about the Bears back? They aren't doing shit with how bad their attack has been. Nick Sirianni is a fucking hack. This game proved it repeatedly. A game I was expecting to be a shootout devolved into the football equivalent of cancer. The Saints were done early. It happened the moment Derek McCoy went down with injury on the first drive. After that, Philly's defense put a surprisingly hot unit in a vice grip with blitzes ahoy. There was nothing for the most part. So why is this anywhere close? Nick Sirianni. The Eagles wanted to secure a game achievement for the most self-destructive plays in 60 minutes. In the red zone, Jalen's gonna earn his keep by throwing a terrible pick. Don't think that's all. Here's a fumble in Saints territory to add to it. What about getting greedy and not taking points to tie before half? That was bad enough. Go for it again in Saints territory. Shockingly, they failed again. And add to all of it with a blocked punt. If it weren't for the Saints doing the same stupid aggressive shit and Saquon being Saquon, this would be more embarrassing than it already is. Yet to add more grease to this fire, Devontae Smith was knocked out with a nasty concussion. All of Philly now wants Peyton Turner hanged outside of Independence Hall. This defense can't hold forever. And Nollins kicks a field goal to go down 1. So why not finally use Jake Elliott after getting him a lawn chair on the sidelines? By making him try a 60-yarder? Let me say a term you should be using soon, Nick. Please pull up to the first window. And Darius Slay was slain in battle too, so it's gonna make it harder. Bad news. The Saints offense finally did something. A touchdown to a wide-open Chris Olave. Horrifying. This game shouldn't be anything resembling a loss. But then we remember that Philly threw everything in the luck attribute.
Trying to get some of it back. They'll get plenty. Dallas Scott is wide open. Down the sideline. Inside the 10. First and goal for Philly.
I don't think the Saints intended that to be a 60-yard pass, but they'll take it. The high-end talent bailing out idiotic decision-making from a cloud. What a glorious day. New Orleans, with chances to prove themselves among the elite, can't get it done and lose one of the more frustrating games they've had in a bit. Wow, Eagles, I'm so proud of you. You barely scraped by a team you should have crushed by at least 20. Jalen Carter and CJ Gardner-Johnson are out here shit-talking nonstop when this team is lucky to even be escaping with a win. This team is becoming more and more unlikable as time passes. And the head of the snake is the fool in charge of the team. Fire him. Now. It's the only way things improve. This week was going to be very telling for the Panthers. Is the problem the scheme, or is it Bryce? Considering how Andy Dalton performed, it's incredibly damning for Bryce. With the same personnel, same playbook, and same schematics, the Red Rifle didn't just perform well, he obliterated the Raiders' defense in ways unimaginable not even days ago. From nothing to over 400 yards of offense, over 300 of them through the air. Las Vegas has terrible luck. They faced a Carolina group eager to celebrate getting a real quarterback under center. All the Panthers did was shit all over anything thrown at them. Weeks of pent-up aggression being taken out on anyone within eyesight. Even AOC thrown in garbage duty. Things becoming so demoralizing in Raider Nation that their players are simply making business decisions. Well, the coaches will make them as well. Carolina finally has some life. It's about damn time. Miami's DOA. The only fight they're showing without Tua is Jalen Ramsey fighting DK in pregame warm-ups. People shit on Tua for being overrated, but without him, the Dolphins are absolutely useless. Stripped bare like a man's ass. Skylar Thompson starting. It's over. And the rarest sight in the league, the Seahawks had a game where they weren't unbelievably cardiac for no reason. It was only a slight murmur or two. DK Metcalf was victorious in his skirmish by burning the defense for a long TD. Zach Charbonnet did the rest. Even with the numbing loss, it only gets worse for Miami. Skylar Thompson is also down with injury. They must rely on... How the fuck is Tim Boyle still in the league? The NFL's answer to affirmative action. He's done nothing and still gets work over better options. That's how far things have fallen. That may also include the Seahawks being 3-0. Mike McDonald can run a defense. What a surprising revelation. Look at this matchup and see two of the sexiest options in the young football season. Detroit sheer balls against Arizona's slippery exterior. Who wins out in the end? The one we expected to at the start of the year. This should be no shame to Arizona, but throughout these 60 minutes, the Lions were the better team. That can't be denied. In terms of their offensive firepower and ability to limit Kyler's effectiveness for long stretches, the Cardinals were just outmatched. That won't do it. Detroit's lateral hooks before the end of the first half will put this out of reach. Even then, despite the Motor City's win, they still look iffy as hell in more than a few aspects. Their offense stalled out repeatedly in the second half. Arizona had them in a bind. Jared Goff suddenly can't stop throwing picks, and the aggression of Dan Campbell's fourth down approach isn't paying off like it used to. It won't be scrutinized heavily since the Lions defense did the same in kind to Kyler and the Cards, but it's something to consider in later dates. Detroit hasn't been dominant, just dancing through the raindrops. Hopefully they'll get back to past form. A 2-1 start's at least a good one. This game was somehow the perfect depiction of both the Cowboys and the Ravens. Dallas is what we thought they were. An incredibly flawed team that's the Notre Dame of pro football. Once again reminding you that someone thought Mike Zimmer was a good man to run a defense in 2024. Too bad his unit can't stop the run. At all. This is how Baltimore thrives. With the two-headed monster of Lamar and King Henry, few defenses can hold the gates from the barbarian hordes. Sorry, Cowboys fans, Jerry couldn't afford King Henry this year. You have to go to the clearance aisle for Zeke and Dalvin. Oh, we jumped off this wagon long ago, Dak. Now, ideally, this outright annihilation should be the end of it all. Baltimore's up by 22, and we should be laughing at the Cowboys for repeatedly shitting down their leg. But the Ravens chose to copy them. A team with a 99.9% chance of winning was choking in a way that would make Atlanta envious. Defense crumbling, offense letting off the gas, Dak Prescott having his way throughout the fourth quarter. I legitimately don't care if Baltimore ended up winning this game. This has been a recurring trend for them for the past half-decade. John Harbaugh needs to be fired and then fired again. The fact that the Cowboys got within a field goal despite being pounced upon is one of the most damning things possible. I can't trust this team. They can't finish games. If it weren't for a technicality in the rules and Lamar Jackson unleashing the high-end talent, Jerry Boy would have orgasmed like he saw a BBC. Dallas sucks. Baltimore sucks in spite of their talent. Both were more than proven today. Wake me when the Ravens fire Harbaugh. Until then, like Diddy, the fanbase should be on suicide watch. Both of these teams are forced into conscription, hobbled into battle with damaged and disabled goods aplenty in front of all the Niners faithful at SoFi Stadium. And they'll give them a show with their B team on offense, too. Who the hell needs CMC, Debo, or Kittle when you have Jawan Jennings? In the face of adversity, he's having his breakout moment. 175 yards and 3 TDs generating instant chemistry with Big Cock Brock slapping their nuts across LA's face. With a 14-point lead against the Little Giants version of the Rams, this should be a cakewalk. If it weren't for their defense giving up penalty after penalty. Lovely day. One-score game. Field goals will be swapped between rivals on failed red zone drives, but there's another chance to make it a two-possession game. Someone tell me San Francisco's most hated band today. The Moody Blues. Knights in white satin, this is not. Stafford just dices the Niners D faster than lightning and it's suddenly a tie game. But late in the fourth quarter, Shanahan's got a chance to overcome and win it. All he needs is another first down.
Rams bring an extra man on the pressure. Purdy steps up, looks deep, Ronnie Bell cannot hold on.
Ronnie, no! Shanahan's tears dropped to the ground like that pass. You have to catch that. That would have won the Niners another home game. They would have escaped the hounds of hell. Not with Stafford's penchant for comebacks. Have you learned nothing from his time in Detroit? Or are you surprised that it happened again? Welcome back to field goal range. Now bring it home and send these fans away miserable.
Cardi, comeback, complete, Rams win, taking the lead with 2 seconds left.
Sean McVay still got it. No big weapons and a D team for the lineup, they'll beat their rivals. Shanahan choking narrative won't go away, but that's been a thing since 28-3. This was more about the Rams and their resolve. Their season lives on. Like a zombie, it shuffles to its next victim. It's allegedly a home game for Atlanta, but Chick-fil-A's closed on Sunday, so there's no reason for locals to come. Enough red in the stands to assume the Bulldogs were playing tonight. Good news for those in attendance, we have ourselves another fight. Atlanta's been playing tight football at the very least. The shocking upset this past week, they're looking to do it again here. Kansas City's been surviving off bullshit and flukes. Take a wild guess that it's happening in Atlanta and you'd be correct. Falcons can't push through and take a sizable lead. The Chiefs defense doing their thing and Harrison Butker being automatic, though we take the lead with not just that, but a drive that flashes the ability that makes them great. Welcome to Patrick's world. It's full of ketchup on steak. But the good news for the Falcons is they've got fight in them. And Younghoe Koo is a damn good kicker to put them down by 5. Atlanta forces a 3-and-out. The chance has come to make a statement. On their next drive, they'll eat all the clock they can. They will push down the field, finally breaking the stout defense. They'll get down to the red zone. And the Deus Ex Machina will continue on by not calling blatant pass interference against the Chiefs. You say you didn't see it, refs? It's okay, we already know you've been bought off. It should have stopped there, but Atlanta fell victim to sunken cost fallacy and didn't take the points. They failed. Turnover on downs. The thing is, their defense did its job. They cut KC down on a 3-and-out. The chance was there to do what needed to be done. They're getting makeup call after makeup call in their favor. Drive the dagger into them? The Falcons will do that to themselves. Why are you Falcons? Every chance to win the game, yet you allow the Chiefs to escape. Just like every other victory Kansas City has had all year. They're Teflon, nothing sticks to them. They play offensively uninspired, doesn't matter when the gods of fate are on their side every week. And we know KC will get white hot in January as always. Hey, something has to make up for Travis Kelce not getting the ball. Yeah, guys, I think Jacksonville might be fucking terrible. We're not even talking about the standard soda bad, but dreaming of tank bowl glory. They've been ill-prepared, ill-equipped, riddled with disease, and festering with mold. Traveling to Buffalo showed us that the Jags aren't anything close to what they believed they were. The Bills, without a large chunk of their defensive playmakers, shut their offense down all night. To be fair, that's easy to do with the full-court press Taylor offense. T-Law had as much success in the air as the damn team playing. Lie them on the burning table for ritual sacrifice. Rip out their hearts and drink their blood to the delight of the crowd. It was too damn easy for Josh Allen. He didn't even have to go into fire god form. That defense just didn't give a shit. The perfect recipe to go 3-0. I've always felt Doug Peterson was very overrated, but to be flat out spanked like this? 5 verts on a 4th and goal? What the fuck are you doing over there, playing grab ass? Shad Khan is livid. You know how hard that is to do? He and Balky are going to be buried in the Daytona infield by morning. Game circled as a supposedly easy win has now become critical to Cincy's efforts. In the jungle, there is treachery everywhere. And this was more of the same. Cam Taylor-Britt doubled down on the shit-talking and flat-out called Washington a college offense. Well, that college unit made you fuckers look like high schoolers. Jaden Daniels might be good at this quarterbacking thing. Dissecting a stout defensive unit for 2 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing TD, and a 90% completion rate. He's showing significant promise and he can't be stopped. The punters on both sides were taking siestas. Turnovers did too. Cincy's offense did everything they could to keep up, but Joe Burrow sadly can't cover Scary Terry. That's crazy to say about these Bengals, but life dumps Skyline chili all over them. Despite desperately keeping close, Daniels is having his breakout. A final drive of legend, converting big play after big play, eating metric shit tons of clock like it's a mukbang. All this leads to one reality for Cincy.
They're down in 7. This one is launched from McLaurin. He's got it! Touchdown! Touchdown, Terry McLaurin!
A repetitive loop. No matter what the Bengals do, they will continue to bungle every situation possible. Cincinnati, the Lords of Cinder, staring into the barrel of an 0-3 start. And they have no one to blame but themselves for it. This was supposed to be a playoff team. Now they're in panic mode thanks to bulletin board material and a spongy defense. Being beaten by a bunch of undermanned commies. What a humiliating way to go. So after all this craziness and hilarity, something has to take the title of Locale of the Week. And I know what you're thinking. Why isn't it anything that happened in the games? Because a greater shit show occurred. This past week, the NFL launched a Discord server. I'm not joking. The NFL decided the best way to appeal to the Zoomers was through a Discord server. Tell me you know nothing about internet culture without saying a word. You have this hastily constructed abomination. There will obviously be little football discussed. A land of 2-minute chat delays, an unprepared server for waves upon waves of shitposting and casualized racism. The standard internet fare. I'm honestly surprised it's still standing. It's the epitome of the NFL. See something popular and do no research to try to cater to it. If you want to see the disaster for yourself, there's also a waiting list to get on since shit's fucked from the get-go. A perfect formula for lolcow of the week. And by making this, I just got muted for 10 minutes.
Bring out Jadid! Bring out Jadid!
Unit lost.
Bring out Jadid! Bring out Jadid!
Unit lost. Unit lost.
Unit lost. Unit lost.
Unit lost. Unit lost.
Ah, thanks very much. That's all. See you on Thursday. Right.
2nd and 10 at the 31. Levis, pressure, and he's blasted. Ball is out. Still loose on the turf. Packers have it.